The silence before the fire, they thought humanity was finished. But deep underground, a spark waited to rise. The world had fallen silent. Ash covered the sky. Once busy cities were now graveyards. Tall buildings leaned like broken bones. Machines lay dead in the dust. There was no more laughter, no more music. Only the hum of alien drones in the sky. Kara sat in a dark tunnel, her back against the cold wall. The underground bunker smelled of rust and oil. Water dripped from pipes above her head. Her fingers gripped a rusted rifle, one she had never learned to fire properly. She was 23. Before the war, she had studied stars and gravity at the Terran Science Academy. Now she watched shadows and counted days since her last meal. Around her, the last human survivors, maybe 30 of them, lay in silence. Children with dirty faces, old men with lost eyes, mothers clutching blankets that had once been flags. War had ended, not with peace, but with surrender. The alien empire, known only as the Drow, had crushed Earth's armies. Their ships blocked the skies. Their machines drained the oceans. Their soldiers laughed at human weakness. And now, even hope had gone quiet. One night, the silence broke. It started with a hum. Low, distant, but steady. Kara's eyes opened. She wasn't sure if it was real or just another dream. Then it grew. Louder. Others began to stir. A baby cried softly. An old man sat up, eyes wide. Kara stood and stepped toward the entrance tunnel, rifles shaking in her hands. She reached the surface hatch. The door groaned as it opened. A cold wind hit her face. She climbed the broken stairs and stood at the edge of the ruined city. And then she saw it. The sky was glowing red. For a moment, her heart stopped. Alien ships again? Another wave of death? But no, these ships were different. Their shapes were old, rough, sharp-edged like forgotten Earth tech. But they burned with strange blue fire, and they moved fast. Very fast. Kara grabbed her radio. Anyone awake? Come to the surface now. People climbed up behind her, one by one, eyes wide, mouths open. Above them, the red sky cracked open. With a sonic boom, the lead ship roared overhead, low and fast. A symbol flashed on its hull, an ancient Earth flag, torn but burning bright. A boy whispered, Is that one of ours?" Kara didn't answer. She didn't have to. Suddenly, light burst from the clouds. Massive alien ships appeared, Drow war carriers. Black and cold, like floating tombs. The humans watched, frozen in fear. Then the first Earth ship attacked. A beam of pure white light slammed into the alien carrier, cutting it in half like paper. The sky erupted in fire. One by one, the old human ships broke formation and dived like hawks, striking the Drow fleet with impossible speed. Explosions lit the yell. Night like a second sunrise, that the crowd behind Kara gasped. Some fell to their knees. Others cried. An old woman whispered, But we had no more ships." Kara's eyes filled with tears. "Someone did," she said. "Someone didn't forget." The radio crackled. A voice, deep and sharp, echoed through every old headset still working underground. "To any survivors of Earth, this is the Fireborn fleet. You are not alone. Stay hidden. We will burn the stars for you." Kara looked up at the flaming sky, her face glowing in red and orange. The silence was gone. Now there was only fire, and behind that fire, hope. Old blood, new weapons. The aliens thought humanity was weak, but the ones who returned were no longer the same. The fire still lit the sky. Hours had passed since the first strike, but the air was thick with smoke and questions. Kara stood on the rooftop of a crumbling hospital, watching the wreckage of alien carriers fall like burning stars. She still couldn't believe what she had seen. Those ships weren't part of Earth's old fleet. They were something else older, but faster. Primitive in shape, but deadly in purpose. They weren't just built for war. They were built for revenge. A voice on the radio crackled again. It was the same deep voice from before. "This is Commander. Rourke, Fireborne Unit 7. To all Terran survivors, stay underground. Do not approach the surface until sweep teams arrive. We are not here to save the galaxy. We are here to finish what they started." Kara's heart beat faster. She didn't know this Rourke. She didn't know who the Fireborn were, but she knew. One thing the aliens were dying now. 3 hours later, the sky was clear. A strange-looking craft landed just outside the city. It hovered a meter above the ground square, armored, patched with different metals. A hatch opened with a sharp hiss, and out stepped a human. He looked young, maybe early 30s, but his face was hard, eyes colder than ice. He wore no badge, no nameplate, just a black coat with red lines down the arms. Strange blue lights pulsed under his skin tech. Kara had never seen before. She aimed her rifle. He didn't flinch. "I'm not your enemy," he said. "Who are you?" Kara asked. He walked forward. "I'm a soldier, born in the dark, raised by ghosts, and now we've come to burn the stars down." The stranger introduced himself as Rena Fireborn Scout. Kara brought him into the bunker. Everyone stared at him in silence. The children hid behind broken crates. The old man who once taught math in a university sat upright, jaw clenched. They had seen many humans die, but none return like this. Ren spoke clearly, simply. "The Fireborn aren't a government. We're not a fleet. We're survivors' descendants. Of the last refugee ships. We escaped when Earth burned. And we've trained for 30 years in deep space. We built new weapons. Not faster, not smarter, just more human." He looked around the room. "They called us extinct, but we made a promise. One day we'd return, and when we did, the stars would know fear again." Kara stepped closer. "You came back for us?" Ren shook his head. "No." The room fell silent. He continued, "We came back for them, for the ones who took everything. You're just the reason we remember who we are." He dropped a dataship. Onto the table, coordinates of alien supply routes. "You want revenge? We have room on our gunships. But once you board, there's no coming back." Kara looked around. Her people were tired, starving, broken. But in that moment, as a hum of strange fire echoed in the night sky above them, she saw something return to their eyes, rage, hope, humanity. She picked up the chip. "I'm done hiding," she said. The Fireborn, they weren't born in cities. They were born in silence, among ashes and steel. And they had returned, not as soldiers, but as weapons. Ren led Kara through the night, beyond the ruins of her city, toward the ridge where the land split open like a scar. There, nestled in, the crater was a ship unlike anything Kara had ever seen, half steel, half bone, with glowing blue veins running through its hull. It hummed with something alive. "This is your ship?" she asked quietly. Ren didn't look at her. "This is one of them. We call it Ghostfire. Built from the wrecks of Earth's final fleet and the skeleton of a fallen Drow warship." Kara's eyes widened. "You fused alien tech with human designs?" Ren finally looked at her. "We didn't have the luxury of choosing sides. We just learned to use what tried to kill us." Inside the ship, Kara saw them. Men and women scarred, silent, eyes like coals. Some had mechanical arms. Others had neural ports fused directly into their skulls. Their bodies were broken, but their presence was terrifying. A girl not older than 17 stood guard at the entrance. A metallic brace ran along her spine, pulsing with light. She saluted Kara. "Name's Alex. You're the survivor from Sector 9? Kara nodded, unsure. Alex smirked. First rule aboard the Fireborn. Don't flinch when we scream. We scream a lot. Kara frowned. Why? Ren answered. Because we were never trained to fight quietly. They entered the ship's war room. Massive 3D projection of the galaxy spun in the air. Red marks blinking across Draal strongholds. Ren pointed to the center. That's Charon Prime, the Draal's main communications hub. We take that down, they scream across their entire network. We want that scream? We want them afraid? Kara stared at the map. And after that? Ren's jaw tightened. We burn every gate. Every lab. Every nest. We don't just push them. We erase them. She swallowed hard. That sounds like extinction. Ren's voice dropped. They taught it to us first. Later, alone in the observation bay, Kara watched stars move slowly past. Alex walked up beside her. Scared? Kara nodded. Yes. Good, Alex said. Fear means you're still human. Kara turned. What about you? You don't seem scared. Alex shrugged. I was born on a mining barge. My mother died when I was 5. My father trained me to shoot before I learned to spell. I'm not scared of dying. She looked Kara in the eye. I'm scared of going back to the silence. That night, as the Fireborn fleet prepared for war, Kara stared at her own reflection in the glass. Didn't see a survivor anymore. She saw fire. Flame at the gate. To stop the war, the Fireborn must go through the unbreakable. But humans were never good at following rules. 3 days later, the Fireborn fleet reached the edge of the Tarnix Gate, a massive alien structure that shimmered in the void like a burning halo. It was the main junkway to the Draal's inner worlds. No ship had ever breached it. Not without a key. Not without dying. But the Fireborn didn't believe in permission. Ren stood before the fleet's command. Screen. The Tarnix Gate is shielded by gravity armor. It reflects all known energy forms. That's why no one ever broke through. Kara asked. Then how will we? Ren smiled a cold, tired smile. Because we're not firing energy. He tapped the screen. It displayed a long, sharp metal object filled with unstable cores. Kara squinted. Is that a rail spike? Alex, standing nearby, grinned. Nope, that's a Godslayer. The plan was insane. While the Draal expected heavy lasers and plasma assaults, the Fireborn had built a weapon using kinetic energy, a spike of compressed tungsten fused with explosives, shot at near-light speed by a coil the size of a shuttle. No energy. No warning. Just mass, speed, and rage. The ghost fire aligned with the rest of the fleet. The countdown began. Ren spoke into the fleet-wide channel. This gate was made to stop armies, but it was never meant to stop humans with nothing to lose. Let this be a message. We are done knocking. The spike launched. Silence. Then dash boom. A white flash tore across space. The Tarnix Gate shuddered. Cracks rippled through its shimmering body. And then, for the first time in recorded history, the gate broke. Kara gasped. So did everyone else. The unbreakable had just bent to old human steel. Alarms screamed across Draal territory. Dozens of ships appeared fast, armored, armed to the teeth, but the Fireborn didn't retreat. They charged. Inside the ghost fire, Kara stood at the rear cannon, gripping the controls. Sweat ran down her neck. Alex's voice came through the comms. First time shooting? Yes. Good. Aim for center mass. And if they scream, you're doing it right. The battle was chaos. Human ships dove like wolves. Draal vessels burst like overripe fruit. The vacuum lit up with blue and red flame. Kara fired. Her cannon sliced a Draal fighter clean in two. She froze. She had just killed something. Ren's voice cut through the radio. Don't freeze. They didn't when they came for us. Keep going. Hours later, silence returned. The Tarnix gate was gone. The Draal fleet was ashes. And the path to their inner worlds was open. Kara stood among the wreckage, her body trembling, her hands dirty, her eyes glowing with adrenaline. She looked at Ren. What now? He didn't smile. We keep burning. They finally felt fear. The Draal never feared humans. But that changed when they saw the fire wasn't in our ships. It was in our eyes. The battle at the Tarnix gate had shattered centuries of alien pride. For the first time in recorded Draal history, a defense line had fallen, and not to superior technology or strategy. It fell to humans, armed with desperation and rage. On the outer rim of Draal territory, panic spread like disease. Civilian transports fled. Officers shouted over each other. One word repeated in every command center: Fireborn. High above the broken gate, the Fireborn ships hovered in silence. Smoke rose from damaged hulls. Some vessels were missing. Many bore scars, but none retreated. Inside the ghost fire, Kara stood in the hangar, hands shaking. Her rifle hung at her side, still warm from battle. Ren approached her. You did well. I killed them, she whispered. I saw their faces. Ren nodded. Then you understand. Understand what? That we didn't come to win, he said. We came to end it. Suddenly, a broadcast broke through all frequencies. A Draal general appeared, tall, scaled, surrounded by advisors. His voice was sharp, but uneasy. Fireborn, your actions are reckless. Cease your assault, and we will offer terms. Ren stepped toward the comms panel. He stared at the screen for a long moment. Then he spoke calm, quiet, and deadly. You offered us silence. We returned with fire. There are no more terms. Only ends. He shut the signal. The Fireborn fleet moved again, this time toward Charon Prime, the heart of the Draal's inner system. Alien planets lit emergency beacons. Civilian fleets tried to hide. The Draal gathered their full armada, hundreds of ships, but the Fireborn didn't slow down. In her bunk, Kara opened an old metal box she had carried since the start of the war. Inside was a picture of her mother, smiling in front of Earth's oceans that no longer existed. Alex walked in. You ready? She asked. No, Kara said honestly, but I'm going anyway. Alex smiled. Good, that's the Fireborn way. When the fleet exited warp near Charon Prime, the stars seemed to pause. The Draal armada blocked the path like a wall of metal and flame. The ghost fires, I scanned them all. Ren stood on the command bridge, silent. Then the AI said something that made Kara's blood freeze. Enemy fleet shows no retreat formations. They plan to hold the line. Ren nodded. Then, we show them what fear really is. The first human ship lit its engines. Then the next. And then they charged. Not one ship slowed. Not one ship turned away. And when the battle began, the Draal finally screamed. Only ashes remain. The galaxy thought humans were finished. But when the fire burned out, only the Fireborn stood in the smoke. Skies above Charon Prime looked like a second sun had exploded. Fire rained across the system. Draal ships tore apart in silence, their energy cores rupturing like shattered hearts. The Fireborn didn't fight clean. They didn't fight fair. They fought to end it, and they did. Kara stood in the heart of the ghost fire, her hands blistered, her eyes dry. The main cannon had gone silent. No targets remained. The enemy had fallen. Not surrendered. Not escaped. Fallen. Charon Prime's surface was scorched. Its military factories turned to glass. The final Draal command station sent out one last signal. It wasn't a cry for help. It was a surrender in full. Ren walked through the corridor, helmet under his arm, uniform soaked in oil and blood. Alex followed, limping from a broken leg brace. Kara met them at the core terminal. "It's done," she said. Ren didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just nodded. We were the storm. That night, silence returned to space. But it was a different kind of silence. Not the silence of death. Not the silence of surrender. It was respect. Even in systems far beyond, alien leaders watched the footage in horror. They had laughed at Earth once, called humans emotional, unstable, short-lived. Now they whispered their name in fear. The Fireborn did not stay. They left the ruins of Charon Prime behind and returned to the ashes of Earth. There, on the broken soil where oceans once lived, Kara planted a flag. Not the old one. A new one, black, marked only by a single flame. A promise that, if darkness ever rose again, so would they dot the end.